Street boy saves a young girl from drowning, put him in almost shocked when ultra-luxury car parked at his door. In the heart of a small town, tucked away in the northeast, lived 17-year-old Jayant. With tousled black hair, warm hazel eyes and a lean frame, hardened by years of manual labor, Jayant was the epitome of a small-town boy with big dreams. He resided in a modest, weathered house on the outskirts of town, with his widowed mother Sarojini, who worked tirelessly to make ends meet. Jayant's life was a delicate balance of school, part-time work, and helping his mother. Despite the hardships, he maintained an infectious optimism and dreamed of attending college on a scholarship to break the cycle of poverty that had gripped his family for generations. In stark contrast to Jayant's world was Rosie, the only daughter of Chaudhary, the CEO of Chaudhary Industries, a Fortune 500 company headquartered in the nearby city. Rosie lived a life of privilege in a sprawling mansion just outside the town. At 16, she was beautiful with long black hair and piercing blue eyes, but a sense of sadness lurked behind her smile, overshadowing her seemingly perfect life. While excelling in arts and literature at the prestigious academy, Rosie felt suffocated by the expectations and superficial world she inhabited, yearning for genuine connections and a sense of purpose beyond her gilded cage. Though Jayant and Rosie lived mere miles apart, their paths had never crossed, existing in separate worlds divided by an invisible barrier of class and circumstance. Little did they know that fate was about to intervene, in a way that would change both their lives irrevocably. As summer approached, bringing the promise of new possibilities, a chance encounter, a moment of bravery and an act of kindness would set in motion a story that would challenge their perceptions, test their characters, and teach them the true meaning of value and worth in a world that often judges by appearances alone. The day that changed everything began like any other for Jayant. He woke before sunrise, delivered newspapers, and headed to school on the last day before summer break. Meanwhile, Rosie, having a difficult day, after an argument with her father about her future, sought solace by going for a drive in her new convertible. Lost in her turbulent emotions and unfamiliar with the winding country roads, she took a curve too fast, causing her car to skid, veer off the road and plunge into Willow Creek. Jayant heard the crash and ran towards the sound. Arriving at the creek, he saw the luxury car, half submerged in the water, with its driver trapped inside. Without hesitation, Jayant dove into the icy water. The current was stronger than he expected, and the car was sinking fast. Reaching the driver's side, Jayant saw Rosie panic-stricken and struggling with her seatbelt. With the water up to her chest and rising rapidly, Jayant tried to open the jammed door. Gesturing for Rosie to roll down the window, he worked to release her seatbelt as she tugged at it in distress. "It's okay," Jayant said, trying to keep his voice calm. "I'm going to get you out. Take deep breaths." Finally, the seatbelt came free, and Jayant helped Rosie wriggle out through the window just as the car sank deeper into the creek. Swimming them both back to shore, fighting against the current, they collapsed on the bank, coughing and gasping for air. It was at that moment, soaked and shivering, that they truly looked at each other. "Thank you, Jayant," Rosie whispered, her voice trembling. "You saved my life." Jayant, suddenly self-conscious, shrugged, saying, "Anyone would have done the same." But they both knew that his quick thinking and bravery had made all the difference. As the adrenaline wore off, Rosie began to shiver more violently, and Jayant immediately took off his jacket, draping it over her shoulders. "We need to get you warm," he said. "My house isn't far from here. We can call for help from there." As they walked, Rosie leaned on Jayant for support, feeling his strength and presence beside her. Arriving at Jayant's home, they were met by Sarojini, who quickly attended to Rosie's needs, providing warmth and comfort. The contrast between Jayant's home filled with love, warmth, and Rosie's own cold formality struck a chord within her. In the midst of the chaos that followed with the arrival of the police and Rosie's parents, a moment of connection and gratitude passed between Rosie and Jayant. As Rosie left, she surprised them both by hugging Jayant tightly and slipping him her phone number, a small gesture that held the promise of something more. In the days that followed, Jayant and Rosie found themselves unable to shake off the impact of their shared experience. Jayant, holding on to Rosie's number, wondered about the significance of the connection between them, while Rosie, reevaluating her life after the near-death incident, felt a shift in her perspective and priorities. Little did they know that this dramatic rescue was just the beginning of a journey that would intertwine their lives in unexpected ways, leading them down a path of discovery, connection, and transformation that neither could have foreseen. She couldn't stop thinking about Jayant, his bravery, his kindness, and the glimpse she had into a world so different from her own. A week after the incident, as Jayant finished his shift at the supermarket, a sleek black car pulled into the parking lot. To his surprise, Rosie stepped out, looking somewhat out of place in her designer clothes. "You didn't call," she said, her voice a mix of shyness and determination. Jayant shrugged, suddenly acutely aware of his worn uniform and scuffed shoes. "I didn't think you'd want me to," he admitted. Rosie's face softened. "I did. I do. I wanted to thank you properly and see you again." Thus began their unlikely friendship. Over the next few weeks, they spent time together in secret, avoiding the gossip that would inevitably follow. They met in quiet corners of the park, at the local diner during Jayant's breaks, and sometimes by the creek where they first met. As they got to know each other, both discovered surprising things about themselves. Jayant learned that beneath Rosie's privileged facade was a kind and intelligent girl struggling to find her place in the world. He was amazed by her passion for art, and her dream of studying in Paris, so different from the corporate future her father envisioned. Rosie was equally impressed by Jayant's resilience and optimism despite his hardships. She admired his talent for mathematics and his dream of becoming an engineer, witnessing the love and sacrifice of his mother working multiple jobs to support his ambitions. One afternoon, as they sat by Willow Creek with their feet dangling in the water, Rosie confided about another argument with her father. "He doesn't see me. He sees a future CEO, an extension of himself, but that's not who I am." Jayant listened, offering quiet support. Then he said something that would resonate with Rosie for years. "The thing about art is that it teaches you to really see things, not just look but see them for what they are. Maybe that's what you need to do with your life. See it for what it could be, not just what others expect." In that moment, Rosie felt truly seen for the first time, while Jayant realized he was falling in love with her. However, their budding relationship faced challenges. The more time they spent together, the more they became aware of their vastly different backgrounds. Jayant felt increasingly self-conscious about his lack of money and connections, while Rosie struggled with guilt over her privilege. As summer drew to a close, they reached a crossroads. Their connection would soon be tested by family expectations, societal judgments, and their insecurities. Jayant found himself at a pivotal moment. His feelings for Rosie had deepened more than he ever anticipated, but the stark reality of their different worlds weighed heavily on him. After much internal struggle, he decided he would tell Rosie how he felt. Consequences be damned. He couldn't let fear hold him back from what could be the most important relationship of his life. On a warm sunny day, they met at their usual spot by Willow Creek, the scene of their first encounter. Jayant's heart raced as Rosie approached, her smile brightening when she saw him. "Rosie," he began, his voice trembling slightly, "I need to tell you something. These past few weeks have been the best of my life, and it's because of you. I think I'm falling in love with you." Rosie's eyes widened, a mix of joy and apprehension crossing her face. "Oh, Jayant," she whispered, taking his hand. "I feel the same way." But the butt hung heavy in the air between them. They both knew the challenges they faced, the disapproval of Rosie's parents, the judgments of their peers, and the vast difference in their socio-economic backgrounds. Despite the obstacles, they decided to give their relationship a chance. The initial euphoria of acknowledging their feelings soon gave way to the harsh realities of their situation. The consequences of their decision became apparent almost immediately. Word spread quickly in the small town. Jayant faced snide comments and disbelief from classmates. "Gold digger" was whispered behind his back, while others accused him of getting above his station at work. Customers treated him differently, some overly friendly, hoping for gossip about Rosie, while others were condescending, believing he didn't deserve her. For Rosie, the consequences were equally challenging. Her father was furious when he learned about her relationship with that boy from the wrong side of town. He threatened to cut her off financially and withdraw support for her college applications if she continued seeing Jayant. Her friends from the academy treated her budding relationship with skepticism, questioning if it was merely a rebellious phase or a charitable project. The stress began to take its toll on both of them. Jayant worked even longer hours to save money for college and prove he wasn't after Rosie's wealth, while Rosie constantly defended their relationship, standing up to her father in a way she never had before. One particularly difficult evening, after another heated argument with her father, Rosie showed up at Jayant's house in tears. Sarojini, seeing the distraught girl, welcomed her in without question, offering comfort and a listening ear. As Rosie poured out her heart, Sarojini shared her own story of falling in love with a boy from the right side of town and the challenges they faced and overcame. "Love isn't about where you come from," Sarojini told them both. "It's about where you're going together." Those words strengthened Jayant and Rosie's resolve. They decided to fight for their relationship while focusing on their individual goals. Jayant doubled down on his studies, determined to win a scholarship to a good engineering program. Rosie began to secretly apply to art schools in Paris, no longer willing to let her father dictate her future. As summer turned to fall, her relationship with Jayant deepened. They supported each other's dreams, studied together, and found moments of joy amidst the challenges. However, they faced painful realities. They couldn't attend school dances together or openly date like other couples. Every outing was clouded by the fear of running into someone who disapproved. The consequences of their decision tested their relationship in unexpected ways, leading to moments of doubt, tears, and frustration, but also profound connection, understanding, and growth. As the leaves changed color, Jayant and Rosie found strength in their bond. "Are you sure about this?" Jayant asked quietly, his concern evident. "It's not too late to walk away, I'd understand." Rosie squeezed his hand, her gaze steady. "I've never been surer of anything in my life. We're in this together no matter what." While they navigated the choppy waters of their relationship, a secondary plot unfolded in the background. Rosie's father, Chaudhary, was not accustomed to being defied. To him, their relationship was more than teenage rebellion. It was a threat to everything he had built. Determined to end what he called this unfortunate infatuation, he reached out to Dean Mr. Pulkit, a friend at Engineering University, knowing of Jayant's aspirations in engineering. This could become a pivotal moment in their lives, testing their love and resolve like never before. Dean Mr. Pulkit was well aware of the implied quid pro quo when he agreed to look into arranging a full scholarship for Jayant at Engineering University. Within weeks, a miraculous opportunity presented itself: a full ride to the prestigious engineering program. While Jayant celebrated this life-changing moment, Rosie was grappling with her own challenges. Her art teacher, Miss Lawson, had secretly submitted Rosie's portfolio to several renowned art schools in Paris. To Rosie's shock and delight, she received acceptance letters from two, including her dream school, École des Beaux-Arts. However, the excitement quickly turned to anxiety when she realized that pursuing her dream would mean leaving Jayant behind, potentially jeopardizing the relationship they had fought so hard to maintain. As Jayant and Rosie navigated these new developments, another subplot unfolded in their town. Sarojini, Jayant's mother, had caught the attention of Gagan, the new owner of the local bookstore. Gagan, a kind-hearted widower, was drawn to Sarojini's warmth and strength, adding complexity to Jayant's life. While he was happy for his mother, he felt unsettled about the changes this budding romance could bring to their close-knit family dynamic. Back at Chaudhary Industries, Chaudhary's obsession with ending his daughter's relationship with Jayant began to backfire. His fixation had led him to neglect crucial business decisions, resulting in a decline in stock prices and whispers of a potential hostile takeover. His wife, Alicia, who had remained silent until now, voiced her concerns, warning him that he was pushing Rosie away and risking everything they had built. As the summer drew to a close, the intertwining narratives of ambition, hidden agendas, and unexpected alliances began to create a web of complexity around Jayant and Rosie. They found themselves at a crossroads, torn between their dreams and their love. Their relationship, once rooted in the thrill of new love, deepened into a profound connection grounded in shared experiences and mutual support. Their favorite spot by Willow Creek became a refuge as they navigated their challenges, with Jayant helping Rosie with calculus while she sketched his profile, capturing their evolving bond amid the uncertainties of their futures. Jayant glanced at Rosie's drawing, remarking, "You've made math beautiful in a way I never thought possible." Rosie blushed slightly, responding, "And you've shown me that numbers can tell stories just as powerful as any painting." This exchange highlighted how they began to influence each other's passions. Jayant developed a newfound appreciation for art through Rosie's perspective, while Rosie grew fascinated by the elegant logic of mathematics inspired by Jayant's enthusiasm. Their relationship was more than romantic moments. It was a source of support through various challenges. When Jayant's old bike broke down, Rosie was there to help him navigate bus schedules and encourage him while he saved for repairs. Similarly, during Rosie's panic attack before a crucial art showcase, Jayant reminded her of her talent and strength. Despite Rosie's father's disapproval, Jayant integrated more into Rosie's family, charming Sarojini and bonding with Gagan over their shared love for classic novels. Rosie frequently visited Jayant at the supermarket, often bringing homework to complete during his breaks. However, their differing backgrounds occasionally led to misunderstandings. When Rosie offered to buy Jayant a new laptop for his college applications, he felt hurt and snapped at her, leading to their first major argument. "I'm not a charity case," he said, his voice tight with emotion. Rosie, with tears in her eyes, responded, "That's not what this is about. I'm just trying to help." After a few days of reflection and heartfelt conversation, they navigated this hurdle and recognized the importance of openly communicating about their perspectives on money and privilege. This understanding only deepened their bond as they learned to appreciate their differences and the richness they brought to their relationship. Their friends and community began to notice the positive changes in them, with Jayant growing more confident and outspoken about his dreams and ambitions. Rosie, once seen as aloof by many, became more engaged with her community, even starting a free art class for kids at the local community center. As the college application deadline loomed, Jayant and Rosie faced the reality of potential separation, with Jayant's scholarship to engineering university and Rosie's acceptance to art school in Paris hanging over them like a bittersweet cloud. One evening, while watching the sunset from a hill, Rosie turned to Jayant, her expression serious. "Whatever happens with college, we'll make it work, right? I can't imagine my life without you." Jayant pulled her close, filled with emotion. "We've come this far against all odds. A little distance isn't going to change how I feel about you." Their kiss held a mix of promise, fear, and hope for the future. As fall deepened into winter, their relationship transformed from a summer romance into a partnership built on mutual respect, shared dreams, and a love tested and proven resilient. They knew greater challenges lay ahead but were determined to face them together. The climax of their journey came on a cold winter evening, just days before Christmas. The Chaudhary family was hosting their annual holiday gala, a lavish affair attended by the elite of the business world. This year, however, an unexpected guest arrived. Jayant, dressed in a second-hand suit and feeling out of place, stood nervously at the entrance of the Chaudhary mansion. Rosie had finally convinced her parents to let Jayant attend, hoping this would be a turning point in their acceptance of her relationship. As Jayant entered the glittering ballroom, whispers and stares followed him. He spotted Rosie across the room, looking radiant in an emerald green gown. Their eyes met, and her smile gave him the courage to navigate the crowd of strangers. Just as he reached her, Jayant's heart raced with a mix of anxiety and excitement, aware that this moment could change everything. Jayant stood at the gala, feeling the weight of the world as Rosie's father, Chaudhary, approached him with a mask of forced civility. "So glad you could join us, Jayant," he said, his tone belittling. Before Jayant could respond, Chaudhary continued, calling for attention and announcing that Jayant had been awarded a full scholarship to the prestigious engineering university. Shock washed over Jayant. He hadn't applied, nor had he heard about this scholarship. Chaudhary wasn't finished. He claimed the opportunity was tremendous, with engineering's engineering program being one of the best, and that Jayant would be leaving for the spring semester. The realization of Chaudhary's manipulation struck both Jayant and Rosie hard. "Dad, what are you doing?" "Jayant never applied to Engineers University." Rosie stepped forward, her voice trembling. Chaudhary merely smiled, explaining that he took the liberty of submitting the application on Jayant's behalf, framing it as a move for Jayant's future. Fury ignited within Jayant. "I appreciate the gesture, Mr. Chaudhary, but I make my own decisions about my future. And my future includes Rosie." The room fell silent, the tension thick. Chaudhary's demeanor hardened as he retorted, but before he could continue, Alicia, Chaudhary's wife, intervened. "That's enough, you've gone too far," she asserted, surprising everyone, including Jayant and Rosie. She turned to them, her voice soft yet firm. "I'm so sorry, this ends now." The gala erupted into chaos, whispers and pointed fingers filling the air as Chaudhary and Alicia engaged in a heated argument. Amidst the turmoil, Jayant leaned in close to Rosie, whispering, "Let's get out of here." She nodded, and together they slipped out into the cold winter night, leaving behind the chaos and the weight of Chaudhary's manipulations. This moment laid bare the challenges they faced, but it also solidified their bond, ready to confront whatever lay ahead. As they walked hand in hand through the quiet, snow-covered streets, Jayant and Rosie knew the choices they'd make in the aftermath of that night would shape their future. The disastrous holiday gala had pulled every hidden conflict and tension in their relationship to the surface, forcing them to confront not only the external pressures from Rosie's family, but also their own fears and insecurities. They met at Willow Creek, now blanketed in snow, its winter beauty contrasting with their inner turmoil. "We need to talk about what happened," Rosie said, her breath visible in the cold air. "About the scholarship my father us." Jayant nodded solemnly. "I want you to know I never applied for that scholarship. I wouldn't make a decision like that without talking to you." Rosie's eyes softened. "I know. But Jayant, it's an incredible opportunity. Maybe we should consider it." Jayant, surprised, asked, "Are you saying you want me to go?" Tears filled Rosie's eyes. "No, but I don't want to hold you back from something life-changing." They spent hours talking, sometimes arguing, seeking a path forward that respected both their dreams and their love. Meanwhile, at the Chaudhary household, tensions boiled over. Alicia, furious at her husband's manipulations, delivered an ultimatum. Either he accepted Rosie's choices or faced the end of their marriage. This, along with potential business fallout from his behavior at the gala, forced Chaudhary to reconsider. One snowy afternoon, as Jayant finished his shift, he was surprised to see Chaudhary waiting. "Jayant," Chaudhary began, his voice uncharacteristically soft, "I owe you an apology. I let my fears cloud my judgment, and I nearly lost my daughter." Jayant listened, aware that this apology, though hesitant, marked a crucial step toward a fragile peace. Hardly believing what he was hearing, Chaudhary continued, "I've come to realize that my actions were not about protecting Rosie, but about controlling her. And in doing so, I nearly destroyed something that clearly means a great deal to both of you." Jayant, after a moment's pause, extended his hand. "Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary. I appreciate your apology. I hope you know I genuinely care for Rosie and only want what's best for her." Chaudhary shook Jayant's hand, a look of respect finally entering his eyes. "I'm beginning to see that, Jayant. I'd like to start over if you're willing." This marked a turning point. With Chaudhary's opposition removed, Jayant and Rosie felt a tremendous weight lift from their shoulders. Yet, they still faced the difficult decision about their futures. Inspired by Jayant's dedication to his dreams, Rosie made a bold move. She showed her parents her acceptance letters to the Paris art schools and firmly expressed her intent to pursue her passion. Alicia, moved by her daughter's resolve, immediately offered her support, and Chaudhary, humbled by recent events, agreed to respect her choice. After much introspection and heartfelt discussions with Rosie, his mother, and his mentors, Jayant decided to accept the scholarship to Engineering University. It was a chance he couldn't pass up, even though it meant being separated from Rosie. The night before Jayant's departure, they met again at Willow Creek. The air was thick with emotion as they faced the reality of their impending separation. "I'm scared," Rosie admitted softly. "What if this changes everything between us?" Jayant held her hands, his gaze steady and reassuring. Rosie, listen to me. What we have isn't something distance can break. We've already overcome so much. This is just another challenge, and we'll face it together. Rosie drew strength from his words and smiled. You're right. And hey, Paris and engineering are a lot closer to each other than either of them is to here. They laughed, and as they held each other close, a sense of peace settled over them. They had faced countless challenges, both internal and external, and emerged stronger, united by their love and commitment. Jayant pulled back slightly, reaching into his pocket. I have something for you, he said, handing Rosie a small wrapped package. She opened it to find a delicate silver locket with a tiny photograph of the two of them, smiling by Willow Creek. So you'll always have a piece of home with you in Paris, Jayant said softly. Tears sprang to Rosie's eyes as she clasped the locket around her neck. It's perfect, she whispered. They sealed their parting with a kiss, knowing that despite the challenges ahead, they had built a foundation strong enough to withstand whatever life might bring. Their love story, born from an unlikely rescue and nurtured through adversity, had not only transformed their own lives but also those around them. The resolution of conflicts fostered growth, understanding, and a new appreciation for the power of love to bridge divides of class, prejudice, and circumstance. Looking toward the future, both felt ready to embrace the next chapter, separately but together. On the day of Jayant's departure for engineering university, family, Rosie, and even Mr. Chaudhary gathered to see him off. The atmosphere was bittersweet, with tears, hugs, and an underlying excitement for new adventures. Rosie, trying to hold back tears, handed Jayant a sketchbook filled with drawings of their time together. To remind you of home, she said, her voice wavering slightly. Deeply moved, Jayant pulled Rosie into a tight embrace. I'll carry you with me always, he whispered. Just before Jayant left, Mr. Chaudhary approached with a quiet resolve. Jayant, I want you to have this. He handed Jayant an envelope containing a letter of recommendation and a business card for one of his contacts at a prestigious engineering firm near engineering. For when you're ready to start your career, he explained. No strings attached, you've earned this on your own merit. This gesture, more than anything, symbolized the new direction in their lives. The once seemingly insurmountable barriers between them had begun to dissolve, replaced by mutual respect and understanding. As Jayant's car disappeared down the road, Rosie felt a blend of sadness and determination. She turned to her parents, chin held high. I'm ready to start packing for Paris, she announced. Alicia smiled warmly, wrapping an arm around her daughter. We're so proud of you, sweetheart. You're going to create beautiful things. Even Mr. Chaudhary, his demeanor softened by recent events, nodded in agreement. Your mother's right. You have a bright future ahead. This marked a new chapter for everyone. Jayant was on his way to pursue his dreams of becoming an engineer, carrying the support of those he loved. Meanwhile, Rosie was preparing to immerse herself in the world of art in Paris, ready to explore her passion and grow as an artist. Back in town, Sarojini and Gagan's relationship continued to blossom, bringing new joy and stability to their home. The Chaudharys, having faced their biases and fears, were working to rebuild their family dynamics and relationship with Rosie. As Rosie packed, she sensed a profound change within herself. The girl once trapped by others' expectations was now embarking on an adventure of her own making. She and Jayant promised to stay in touch through video calls, letters, and visits. This turning point symbolized more than physical separation. It marked a new direction in their growth. No longer just the poor boy and the rich girl, they were two young adults, ready to face the world on their own terms. Their story had changed the town, challenging long-held prejudices and showing the possibility of bridging social divides. As winter mellowed into spring, a sense of new beginnings filled the air. Jayant and Rosie's love story hadn't ended with their separation. Instead, it had deepened, growing stronger through distance and personal growth. They were on parallel journeys, each chasing their dreams while keeping the bond they'd forged. This was not an ending but a new beginning, a testament to love, understanding, and the courage to follow one's heart. 6 months had passed since they'd set off on their separate paths, and as summer bloomed again, both returned to their hometown, eager to reunite and reflect on their experiences. Jayant had thrived at engineering university. The challenging curriculum pushed him to new heights academically, and the diverse student body expanded his perspective. He'd made new friends, joined engineering clubs, and even started a mentorship program for underprivileged high school students interested in STEM. "It's amazing," he told Rosie as they sat by Willow Creek, their feet dipping into the cool water. "A year ago, I never could have imagined myself here. I'm not just learning engineering. I'm learning about life and myself." Rosie's time in Paris had been equally transformative. Exposure to diverse art styles and cultures had ignited her creativity in ways she hadn't anticipated. "I feel like I'm finally becoming the person I was always meant to be," she confided. "It's not just about art. I've learned about independence, standing up for myself and following my passions." They had grown as individuals. Jayant's confidence blossomed, unburdened by financial insecurities. He had proven to himself that his worth was in his intellect, work ethic, and character. Rosie, once constrained by her father's expectations, had found her voice, advocating for herself and her passions unapologetically. The shy, conflicted girl had transformed into a self-assured young woman, with a clear vision for her future. Their relationship had also evolved. The distance and growth they experienced separately had only strengthened their bond, teaching them to communicate openly and support each other's dreams while pursuing their own. Their love had matured from a passionate summer romance into a deep, abiding partnership. "You know," Jayant said, squeezing Rosie's hand, "I was so worried that going to different schools being apart would pull us away from each other. But I feel closer to you than ever." Rosie leaned her head on his shoulder. "Me too. It's like we've both grown into ourselves, and that's made our relationship stronger." They also reflected on how their journey had affected those around them. Sarojini had found new happiness with Gagan, their relationship bringing a warm dynamic to the household. The Chaudhary family, too, had come together, with Rosie's father making an effort to support her aspirations. Even the community itself seemed changed by Jayant and Rosie's story, inspiring others to look beyond social barriers. New initiatives had emerged, offering more opportunities for underprivileged youth. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over Willow Creek, Jayant and Rosie sat in comfortable silence, contemplating how far they'd come. They had faced prejudice, family opposition, and the challenges of a long-distance relationship, emerging stronger and more united. "We did it," Rosie whispered, a note of wonder in her voice. Jayant smiled, pulling her close. "We're just getting started." In that moment, they felt a profound gratitude for their journey. They had grown as individuals, strengthened their relationship, and sparked change in their community. As they looked to the future, they felt ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, confident in their love and in themselves. As summer drew to a close, Jayant and Rosie prepared to return to their respective schools, knowing that they'd carry this love with them always. They took one last walk through the town that had once seemed to define and limit them, but now felt like a cherished part of their shared history. They stopped by the supermarket where Jayant used to work, now managed by a former classmate who waved at them enthusiastically. Passing the Chaudhary mansion, they saw it no longer as an intimidating symbol of class division, but as a place where family dinners now included both families, celebrating unity and understanding. Finally, they reached Willow Creek, the place where their story had begun. What was once a divided town, with a clear line between the rich side and the poorer side, had transformed. Now, people from all backgrounds enjoyed the park together, united by shared experiences and a new sense of community. "Look at how much has changed," Rosie marveled, her eyes sweeping over the scene. Jayant nodded, squeezing her hand. "It all started with a car accident and a rescue," he mused. Their journey had reinforced the transformative power of love, the importance of staying true to oneself, and the potential each individual has to effect positive change. They had proven that the barriers of class and prejudice could be overcome with empathy, understanding, and courage. As they stood by the creek, Jayant turned to Rosie. "You know, when I pulled you out of that car, I never imagined I'd be rescuing my own future." Rosie smiled, touching the locket around her neck. "And I never knew that by accepting help, I'd find the strength to forge my own path." Their story, born of an unlikely encounter and nurtured through adversity, not only changed their lives but rippled out to impact their families, town, and beyond. It stood as a testament to the enduring power of love to bridge divides and inspire change. As the sun set, Jayant and Rosie walked hand in hand toward their future, carrying with them the lessons of their past and the hope for all that was yet to come. Thank you. At the end of the story, we'll request to subscribe, like, and comment,